We'll be talking about a deeply concerning issue, which is sexual harassment in school. Should offenders face 14 years in jail? Now imagine being a young student excited to learn, to make friends, to dream about the future, only to have that safe space shattered by someone who should protect you. Now, sadly, for too many Nigerian students, this is the reality. Studies show that nearly 7 out of 10 female students in Nigeria have faced some form of sexual harassment in school. Now, the trauma doesn't just fade, it affects mental health, confidence and academic performance, sometimes forcing children to drop out entirely. Now, the National Assembly has now proposed a 14-year jail term for offenders, but is this long sentence the solution, or do we need stronger preventive measures and support systems for victims? Now, this morning, we want to hear your thoughts, parents, teachers, students. Your voice does matter. How can we make schools truly safe again, and what justice is right for those whose innocence has been stolen? Pick up your phone and call us on the numbers displayed on your screen, or send us a WhatsApp message. We'd like to hear from you at this point. This is a critical topic that we need to be discussed. And Maimuna, you know, it has become a menace in higher institutions, especially when it comes to sexual harassment of students. And a lot has happened and nothing has been done. It usually goes towards, the disciplinary committee of that institution. But it is something that is a crime which needs to go to the right security agencies, to the police and to courts as well, pass through the judicial system as well.
We have our first caller on the line, Hauwa. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Abasekon calling from Gombe State.
Good morning,
Abasekon.
Thank you for calling
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, sincerely speaking, this is a very wonderful topic. It goes to show that discipline must be instilled. And then there's a law already on ground that if any person commits rape or any act of violence, that person should go for a longer term in imprisonment. I subscribe to that imprisonment, 14 years imprisonment. Because what is an offense? An offense is an act of omission which renders the person making the act of omission culpable to punishment. That is, that person is liable to be punished. Any man or woman that commits such an offense should be punished. And that is why in Nigeria we are facing challenges, because they are not punished. They are not punished. Once they are punished, others will take clue. And once that is done, you will not see any person wanting to commit crime. Take for instance, somebody raped a minor, and then because maybe he's a very big man in the society, and then what happens? Because he has money and he buys his way out. Must we allow that kind of injustice to go on in this country? No. We shouldn't allow such. Discipline is what God enshrined in the Bible, and it's also in the Quran. So we must enshrine it in our constitution, in the act that enables adequate punishment to be given. Thank you this morning, Trust TV. God bless you for the wonderful submission that you always give us to deliberate upon. I appreciate. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Abasekon, for that. I'd like to hear from you, actually. What do you think about, 14 years in jail for offenders of sexual assault?
Well, I would say it's a right step to start with. But then I feel laws are not enough. Our schools need to create an environment where the students are safe, where students can, go and report cases of sexual harassment. They get a fair hearing, they feel comfortable, absolutely. Yes. Where doubt will not be, where, not believing if really the stories they're telling is true, but rather would want to investigate and follow the matter to the letter, transparency, and then, call the offender to book and let them be accountable for their actions. 14 years is good.
Let's take
a good step in the right direction.
Shatima from Maiduguri. Hello, good morning, Shatima.
Good morning, Hauwa, Maimuna. Good morning. Good morning, Trust TV. Good morning, Nigeria. This is Shatima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shatima. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Honestly speaking, as Abasho was saying, but I want to add a little. Honestly, it's a welcome development. Why can't they make it to be 20 years imprisonment? Because this thing is happening and it will become rampant. I can remember since when I was undergraduate, this thing is happening. But as then, because the students, they are fearing of coming out because of selective judgment. And somebody will, a lady will come out, and if it make the claim, and because the school management and the colleagues of the lecturer, they will try to try to cover. So we need a strong committee that will be monitoring that this judgment have been take effect. I think it's good. And secondly, it is very important to come out with a dress code. Because some of our ladies, the way they are dressing is an invitation by trick. That I'm available, I'm ready for anybody. So this dress code is very, very important because exposing your body will attract the mind of of an adult person. So, but surely, as Abasho was saying, it's lack of discipline. If at all you are self-disciplined and you are disciplined enough and you have a discipline in your mind and you have the fear of God in your mind, even a lady walk naked, you cannot turn to see her. As in our Holy Quran have said, if you make a mere look at a lady is just by accident. Don't make the second one. Because by putting your eyes on a mature lady, that's where Shaitan have come in and put something in your mind. Devil is a wonderful creature. He can inculcate so many bad things into your mind, so that for you, if you do not control yourself, you just jump into a very ugly act. So I think it is good. In the higher institution, that dress code is very, very important. It's very, very important. And also, it's a shameful thing. At A level, level, you pass to primary school, secondary school, you go to the A level. But they have to tell you how to dress well. It's very, very unfortunate. We have to respect ourselves.
All right.
By exposing your body, it is not right, honestly speaking.
All right.
In any religion, it is not right. So they have to dress well and make sure that anybody that make an insult on them, the management have to take course.
All right, thank you very
much.
Thank you very much, Shatima, for that. When you look at this situation that goes on in higher institutions, and I believe it doesn't only go on in higher institutions as well,
even
it goes on in secondary schools as well, and even in primary schools. But then, especially in higher institutions, it's more rampant. It is quite important for institutions to place mechanisms so that they can have a reorientation of, the lecturers, the teachers that are there, for them to understand that this is what I'm here for and nothing else. And I believe at some point it really does not matter what mode of dressing a particular person is. A person can be wearing a hijab from head to toe and they
still
would be preyed on.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, it depends on that predator and their intentions as well.
And then if you look at the sexual harassment happening in higher institutions, you find out that the lecturers would make use of their advantage, the office that they're in, to perpetrate this particular crime, because sometimes the students will have issues in their courses or exams or tests, and they go to meet these lecturers and they take advantage of the situation.
Let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, STV News.
Good morning.
I'm glad to connect with you this morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Because I've
Thank
been
you for
trying
calling
for
in.
several days and I've not been. The network has been so bad.
All right. Lucky enough you
I
got
like
us
this
today.
your topic this morning.
All
But
right.
before you
And,
proceed, please kindly state your name and where you're calling from. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Fale Olubinga from Oyo State.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the law, because if it has not happened to anybody or the parents, you will not know the gravity of the offense being committed by these people that are harassing the students. And having said that, I want the National Assembly to go beyond the students. Not only the students are being harassed. I believe other minors, other people that are working in other sectors are being harassed, even in the companies, in their place of work. So the law should extend to all of them, so that they will feel the impact of the offense they committed. And aside that, I align with Mr. Setima from or what he said, and I would like to state again that the people, the law. I mean, the National Assembly should extend the law. I mean, not 14 years imprisonment or whatever. It should be life imprisonment. Why I say so is that, these people, they will still go to appeal court. And when you get to appeal court, the appeal court can slash the years down. So if they say the maximum is 14 years and they go to appeal court can slash it maybe to 4 or 5 years. But if it is life imprisonment and they go to appeal court, before Jack and Harry, they can maybe cut it down to maybe 14 years or 20 years, and that will be enough. It will send signal to anybody that wants to sexually harass the students or sexually harass another person again. And with that, Nigeria will be free of sexual harassment. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
All right. Looking at this particular case, some might say these 14 years are not enough, but it's between 5 and 14 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the question is, are these measures, harsh enough, hard enough for those offenders for it to be a deterrent to others?
I feel when one person is brought to book, it will serve as an example to other people. One of the issues we have is when people commit certain crimes, they are not being, brought to book. They are not being followed down to the letter to be sure that justice prevails in that particular case. And then when people see these things, they feel that, oh, our laws are weak, even when the laws are there to guide you through. The laws are weak, our judicial system will not do the needful, and then the next person would want to try that act and see for itself to see whether, okay, he can pass through it or, be judged at the end of the day. But the most important thing we need to understand is that every student have a right to a safe environment when it comes to learning. No child, no student should be subjected to, not giving their consent when it comes to this sexual harassment of a thing, because a lot of people have been into this particular issue, but they don't know how to come out to tell their stories. Right. There are stigmas attached to
stigmatization when it comes to these issues.
But I guess we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in this morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
All right, can you please turn down the volume of your television set so we can hear you clearly?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. My name is Adamu.
All right, thank you for calling in. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I want to know, I like the topic people just brought now, and it is possible that the schools, the lecturers and the students will know the dressing code, number one. Like in Benue State now, our governor here, you cannot dress anyhow and enter into the school. You understand? You cannot dress anyhow and enter into the school premises. That is number one. And the other thing that is the lecturers
are not forcing those girls to do what they are doing. It is them themselves that will carry themselves and go and give to the lecturer.
All right. We are talking about, excuse me, we're talking about this particular issue where there's sexual harassment. We're not talking about any other aspect of those kind of things, of sexual harassment and a bill to be passed where sexual offenders should face 14 years in jail. We are asking, what is your take on it? Do you think that these consequences are enough for these sexual offenders?
I believe we lost that call. Do well to call back and share your thoughts on that. The phone lines are still open. You can also send us a WhatsApp message just in case you cannot get through to us. You can call us in and share your thoughts.
Absolutely. And we are still on the topic discussing sexual harassment in schools. There are cases of sexual harassment in institutions in Nigeria. Aside from higher institutions, we have them in secondary schools as well. And the question is, should offenders face 14 years in jail, as the National Assembly is proposing a bill to pass on 14 years of, jail time for sexual offenders? All right, I have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna.
Good morning, Adamu. Thank you for calling in this morning.
Good morning, Adamu. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah. To me, I have a different opinion. 20 years, 10 years is not the answer. What they should have done is that put a proper arrangement and discipline in every school. I'm talking about university now. That if any student can provide an evidence that a lecturer is threatening her, harassing her, then that lecturer should be blacklisted in Nigeria for 10 years. So that lecturer cannot work anywhere in Nigeria. He can be sent to maybe 1 year imprisonment. So that 14 years is unnecessary. Because government will be feeding the person, they will be costing government taxpayers money, but let them blacklist the person like they did for a lecturer in University of Ife 5 years ago. That popular girl who was doing a master. That lecturer was sent to 3 years in prison in Osun State, and he served the punishment as a professor. So, letting is not necessary. But blacklist that person, let the Nigeria, everybody's face picture or whatever, and he can't work anywhere in Nigeria for 10 years. Once that happens, then he will see time. That's number one. Number two, I agree with it that dressing. No. You can't be telling adults what to wear. By God's grace, next year I will invite Shetima to London during summer. And me and him will work on our Hauwa street where popular people come for shopping all over the world. You will see them wearing bra and pants walking on the street. Like a bikini, whatever it's called it. On the street, you see them naked. You dare not talk to her. You dare not even look at her. Because they will arrest you. So, why are you staring at me? So, there are many like that. You just turn your face somewhere or use some glasses. But because you wear that, they think it's a lorry. No! That means it's in the mind of that lecturer or a secondary school, anybody at all. Like Hauwa said, you can wear a jab and full dress abaya. They will still come for you. Because animal is animal. They don't care. Whatever you wear, they don't care wherever you are. So the law should be strict that for secondary school, university, polytechnic, whatever, blacklist that person for 10 years. He can't work. And once he can't work, definitely he will have problems with the family because of a girl. And some blacks do go to these people as well. I've been calling to so many. I do want to talk again in their graduate is working and is married now. But during that time, she went through the same thing. I said, record the lecturer. Just send evidence to me. I will send from here and call a lawyer. I will blacklist that, but I don't know. The lecturer was maybe smart. So he didn't question the girl anymore. So that's how that girl graduated and from the first class and let me rescue. So that's my own opinion about this issue. The House of Rep and National Assembly to make a law for 20 years for corruption. 20 years imprisonment. That's what we want to see. That benefits everybody in Nigeria. God bless you, my sisters, and God bless Nigeria. And good morning, Chatima in Borno State.
All right. Thank you very much, Adi, for that. You know, this particular issue is quite controversial. A lot of people
really
have different opinions of it. But then at the end of the day, we have to look at it through a clear eye and, you know, from a different perspective, understanding that these things do happen. And at the end of the day, the biggest issue that we do have is stigmatization of those victims. They are stigmatized to the point that they cannot say anything, they cannot report it. And aside from that, understanding that we do not victim blame or shame.
True.
Understanding that these predators are out for blood. These predators are out there to get what they want, preying on, you know, the vulnerable. All right, let's take
We have another caller on the line.
Call.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Yahya Mohammed Kerim, calling from La Local Government area of Niger State.
Thank you for
Good
calling
morning,
in.
Yahya. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I like to chip in on the particular topic that you people the trustees here are discussing this morning.
All right, go ahead.
Regarding to the sexual harassment inflicted on the girls, maybe around the campus.
Yes, go ahead.
What I wanted to say is we should look at it in many angles, in the sense that sometimes an act can be committed maybe out of maybe influence, maybe a drug influence, and at the same time maybe by the indecent, sometimes by the indecent dressing, some of the ladies were being wear. And at the same time, sometimes the minors we talk about in low aspects, it can be looked at in another way. But what I'm trying to say now is, in a case where an act was committed maybe through the influence of a certain drugs, and based on what some of our executives are doing these days in terms of offering a pardon to some offenders, you know, actually it's not really discouraging people that have intention for all these kind of things. Because assuming now a person was arrested, was being apprehended by the law enforcement agencies, and maybe he was trying to say that he did it out of knowing, maybe because of the influence of drugs, and the drug dealer that were being arrested are being pardoned, and the people that purchase the drug and perpetrate some acts were being kept in jail. So what are we saying, please? That is the point I want to discuss on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Yahya.
Thank
for
you
your
for
contribution.
For calling in.
Right.
Hauwa, when you look at it, this is not just a moral issue. It's about power. It's about accountability. It's about creating a safe learning environment for our students. It's quite important. While you were going through the introduction, you were able to, you know, make us understand that the sexual harassment has a traumatic effect on the student. A child that leaves their home to school, the essence of getting to school is to learn, make friends, connect with people, and, you know, create a better life for yourself. But when you're faced with these challenges, you begin to wonder, really, the environment that I'm banking on to give me all of this safety and learning, and I am here being a victim of such harassment. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Grace. I'm calling from Plateau State.
Good morning, Grace. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. Morning, Maimuna. Morning, Hauwa.
Good morning, Grace.
I want to contribute this thing we're talking of harassment or dressing, the way the students dress to the school. Sometimes you see these men, they are human beings, not animals. I believe no matter how a woman dresses out, it doesn't warrant you to go and harass her or to sexually harass her. What of the minors, the babies, 2-year-old, 2-month-old that has been harassed sexually? And we are busy talking about dressing. As a human being, a gentleman, even if a woman dressed naked, it doesn't warrant you to go and harass her sexually. Neither maybe you should punish her for that or, call her to order. But that one doesn't warrant you to go and harass her sexually. That is my take this morning.
All right. Thank you very much, Grace, for your contribution.
Yes. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Now, looking at this, you made mention of how students are supposed to be comfortable in their learning environment. And if you can remember, when a student graduates from a higher institution, especially the university, they say that that person is worthy of both character and learning. And where do they, build their character as well with what they experience in higher institutions, with who is around them and what is depicted around them. So how do you expect that student to continue in life, in their journey in life, and not pick up those kind of things, especially if they are men as well, or they're boys that would go into men and see that as an example as well. So that is quite detrimental to the future of those students as well.
We have another caller on the line. Thank you for calling in this morning. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name?
This is Engineer Stanley calling from Enugu.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Yes, wonderful topic this morning. National Assembly proposes a 14 years term. Mind you, it's proposed. They've not even signed it into law. But I want to remind you that all these laws, is just for the poor. And at the end of the day, the rich get away with it. Do you know that sometimes last month, a sitting senator accused his wife of using drugs? Up to today, nothing has been done about that. We have law on that, drug law. Do you know that we have on homosexual in Nigeria? But the most people committing homosexual here in Nigeria, especially the state I am, which is Enugu, is the politicians. To be sincere with you, we know them. And the lawyers, we know them. But these are the people who enact law. Well, I will say in a local palace, no be today. They will enact the law, the sexual harassment law. They are the ones who are sexually harassing people. Once you make noise about it, they will bring you down because they are the power and the mighty. They have the money, they have everything. Right. Not that the law is not good, it's good. But my question is, when the rich commit the offense, what happens to them? As far as Nigeria is concerned, nothing happens to them. I can still remember Elisha Abu, a former senator, then accused of assaulting a woman or sexually assaulting a woman. Up to today, we didn't hear anything about it. You are a journalist, you should know better than me. So my take this morning is that they keep on proposing, they keep on enlightening law, but at the end of the day, we get nowhere with it. So that is my take this morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. And just to add, the lecturers need to understand that apart from being a lecturer to the students, you're also, a role model that the students look up to in, making certain decisions and wanting to be who they want to be. But then when you do certain things to them, how do they perceive you as a person? And then you should remember that you also have your own children in other schools. How would you feel if any of your child goes through that? So you need to look at it inwardly as an individual, because your morals, your values, where is your humanity to start with? So these are things that we need to purge our minds against from.
All right, let's take a couple of let's take a couple of WhatsApp messages. So we have a message from Faisal from Kaduna, and he says rape victims are attacked while wearing every type of clothing imaginable, from pajamas, uniforms and religious attire like hijabs and nuns' habits to swimsuits and party clothes. Children and the elderly are also victims, which further disproves the clothing argument. Rapists should be castrated, or there should be a database for rapists. Thank you very much, Faisal, for your take on this.
Okay, we have another message from Aliyu from Zaria. He says the bill is lopsided. It doesn't look at the other side of the coin, where students willfully seduce reluctant teachers through sweet, illicitious talk, provocative dressing, and other open invitations. If a teacher can prove this indecorous move, what will be the punishment for such girls?
All right, next up, we have a message from Mr. Ona from Kefi, Nasarawa State. And he says, good morning, presenters. The issue is not to have it as a law, but the enforcement, because the law in Nigeria is only enforced on ordinary citizens. Let the law enforcement agencies sit up and stop working in favor of people whom they think they are well-to-do personalities. Thank you very much for that. All right. It is quite important to understand the severity of these kind of acts that are being perpetrated in institutions, and it's quite important for those perpetrators to be brought to book and understand that it is not okay to sexually harass someone. It is not okay to push someone into mental instability, I would say, because there are repercussions to those kind of acts.